Yes, family tree. Let's break down the fundamentals of the fish flop or the fish roll. This is a great one to really explore tension within back bends and consistent tension, something kind of known as tensegrity as well, allowing for a certain type of contraction in the body that allows for fluid movement. And this is one of the first ones we can kind of play with that really lets us explore our arching sensation and our arching acrobatics, whether we're more grounded like this one today or whether we're doing more dynamic acrobatic movements as well. Really important to be able to have this glute squeeze and this active hip extension and spine extension here, and keeping it locked in without feeling trapped or stuck. So let's get straight into it. These first few movements are just going to be activation. It's not really warm-up per se, so hopefully you do a little bit of like warm-up drills around this. If you are like completely cold doing this, some of this may help, but just listen to your body as well. The first thing that we're going to come into is this active hip extension and feeling the glute squeeze. But I want you to come into this, but breathe easy, like breathe calm. Let yourself actually still be quite malleable within the shape. And already this is kind of the main foundation that we need to lock into for this movement. Notice that you don't even need a huge back. Like my back bend really isn't very big at all, yet I can still achieve this movement quite comfortably, simply because a circle is a circle no matter how deep that curve is. If there's a slight curve, we have this. And I'm not banging any part of the body. I'm not moving like a block, a square block. As long as there's a tiny bit of extension, we have this ability to rock. So we're going to do a few of these. Hands pressing into the ground and just feeling the rolls back and forth. If we feel comfortable there, can we do the same without the hands? And again, it doesn't need to be huge lifts or back bends. It's actually quite difficult that, but again, just to be able to lock in and feel the curve of the body. So once we're used to that rock, let's start to bring our hands into the real specific placement. This is really the key element to catching and feeling safe within the full movement itself. Hand drawing down, and the other hand is next to the side of the chest, like this. So demonstrate on this side. So arm is long, palm flat to the floor. I'm looking away from the long arm here, and I can actually treat the curve a little bit to make it easier by rolling towards this. A lot of the pressure is coming from both hands to lift and to support the rock. Like so. If I demonstrate on the other side, like this, I'm just pressing down, looking away from the long arm so I can really press into it as well. And that's going to be an important part of the transition from the full fish roll as well. So rep those out if you need to get really comfortable with the rocking motion and the position of the hands. Super, super important. The next thing is just getting used to the roll and meeting the junction of the hand placement from a different perspective. So I'll demonstrate through the right arm, which is the long arm. This is nice and simple. Through this backwards roll, I'm letting the weight of the legs do the work, and everything stays on one side. The arm, the gaze, and the leg, all coming down that side. The trailing arm is going to help come behind the head and sort of either come to the top of the head or close across the face a little bit, like so. So the whole movement is going to look like this. Drawing in, I look, same foot coming to the sky like this. The trailing arm comes in front of the face, like so. And we'll roll it back. I'll demonstrate it from a few angles. I'm going to keep on the same arm just for this, just to minimize any left and right's confusion. So look on the right side, right shoulder, the right foot, the hand comes into support. Keep this leg up high to the sky, and then roll back. Another angle. This is where we get to see what the trailing arm does. And retrace. Yeah, so now we've got used to that. I've got notes here and I'm still like trying to remember what's next. Now we're going to actually start to bridge the gap into the back bend. So coming from this closed hip to the glute squeeze like we did the rocks. And this movement is really forgiving. That same foot that comes down towards the ground is really going to help anchor and leverage the roll nice and slow and at a pace that suits you and your body and your coordination. So as I roll back, come up, notice what this hand is doing right now. As I push my head away from the planted foot, the palm rotates. And then I'm going to try and slide from my chin, my chest, my belly, my hips, my thighs coming up into the cobra. And this is to really map the line coming down through to leave no stone unturned into the rock. It's really going to allow us to iron out the creases of feeling the whole curve on the fish flop. So as I roll back, the palm flips and I'm sliding from chin, chest, keeping this hip active, this leg active all the way to the belly, into this seal shape. I'll demonstrate from a few angles. Active, squeeze, 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 and up. And that's going to make sure we're keeping the hips extended the whole time by tracing from every point, from chest to belly to hip, all the way into the seal shape or the up dog. That flip of the palm, the hand coming over in front of the face, really, really important for bridging the gap. So now instead of tracing down really sort of like in a pedantic way, we're going to make it a little bit more dynamic to meet this sensation again. So we're going to come to this now using a little bit of a pop off the foot. So I roll back, catch. Soon as I'm ready, I can hop and push. So you can time that for as long as you want. Trace down the chest and you can pick a spot to stop at. I could pick the belly and then do the pop from there. If I feel comfortable there, I could trace, go to the chest and try and pop from there. So I'll start from like 10% to like 80, 90%. So nice and easy. Trace, 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 trace. Boop. And we're up. And the whole time we're staying in that curve. Trace, trace, maybe here. Oi. Hop. Oh, that felt like a super nice roll. Everything's active, it's all the same thing. But we're just using momentum instead of trying to control it. But the glutes and the hips and the thighs are staying exactly the same, contracted. Now from here, we can start to appreciate the catch. This is the scary bridge to cross. So when we're doing the foot catch and pop, I want you to try to minimize the amount of touch of the foot to the floor and try to hop from somewhere around the chin and the chest area. Like so. So then we're really finding an honest roll of the momentum. Then it makes it shorten the gap between doing it without the foot catch. And we're still doing this catch of the arms. The arms are pressing. This is where this does so much work now to catch. As I find that fish flop over, catch and roll. So the hands are doing so much work there to stop it from being like, whoa, crash, bang onto the floor. Lift, roll, and I can really feel that glute squeeze. if that feels challenging, don't worry about trying to catch it. I'm just really exaggerating there how much the hands can really help you. Don't forget that the hands are there if we're thinking so much about the roll. Or you just have to maybe do it on a nice floor. I'm doing it on a wooden floor. I actually learnt this on a harder surface as well. But it is a lot more unforgiving. So you can go and, like, maybe if you've got soft flooring, the jigsaw mats, gymnastic flooring, do it on grass in the park. All of that is probably going to be a little bit more accommodating and give you more scope to, like, just send it if you need to. And it can go, you've got more room for error without hurting yourself. But aside from that, the flooring, just use the hands, but squeeze the glutes. So if you're really using momentum without the catch, squeeze the glutes. Rolling over, catch, squeeze, rolling down through that side. And that's pretty much the full progression as far as I'm aware of, and as far as I know that works for my friends and students in classes and in the parks and just at jams. Like, I've really got on quite a few people to learn this skill, as scary as it can be, through this specific build up here, really. You know what really helps as well is finding a little bit of a sequence in and out of it as well. So it kind of makes us focus a little bit less on the move itself and revere it so much, and it lets us kind of find a little bit more of a flow where we're not thinking about it too, we're not overthinking it, and it just becomes less thinking, more feeling. So a way we can come into the back roll can be from the squat position. So I can press the knees forwards, hands come back, take a seat down. This is going to give the momentum into the fish roll. As I hop up to come out of it, that descending down, this catching arm, the straight arm is going to trace up and reach. I'm going to trace the opposite leg over the other one. And then this is going to turn into a fetal roll. Roll onto that shoulder, reaching up into a squat. And then we can, I don't know if you can see me, and then we can start again. So from here, knees forwards, hands back, roll back, find the fish flop, that descending down, reaches up, trace the legs, figure four to squat. And some variations there. Got carried away with myself there. Try that sequence, and then you can have less anticipation and less expectation as well. You can catch the foot. It's still a really nice aesthetic to just pop the foot down, catch and lift. I utilize that in my moving flows and stuff as well. It feels great. If it feels good, go for it. If you want to explore on top of that, then explore. But yeah, I hope that was enough information there. Yeah, if you like this video, give it a like. If you didn't like it, give us a dislike. And leave a comment if you want. Constructive criticism, feedback, always welcomed. I'll do my best to deliver and facilitate. Yeah, big ups. If you want to keep this co-created hub going, let's subscribe to your boy, and I'll keep dropping these bombs. Other than that, love family. In a bit. Oh, you can buy us a coffee if you want as well. Yeah, it wouldn't go amiss, especially after all of this editing of these videos. Link to get me a coffee is yeah. Thank you very much, guys. In a bit.